Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Restricted Republican. Thank you enough for being here. As election 2020 rages on, I wouldn't be doing you any service by not staying focused on this until we are given a president. Over the last 24 hours, President Trump has taken several major hits. Lawsuits not going through. However, he's launched a new offensive with more lawsuits. Now they're focused, however, on just a few key states. One state that may be the very linchpin that makes Biden go ballistic. But before we get there, if you haven't subscribed to me here on YouTube, I certainly hope you'll just take a few seconds, follow the white hand over next to me, and go ahead and click on that subscribe button. Also, if you haven't taken us up on our 14 days free to view both Lisa Haven and I on uncensored, unfiltered news over at restrictedrepublic.com, I certainly hope you'll take us up on that opportunity and hear what news is supposed to sound like. But now let's get back to this broadcast. Let's transition into Pennsylvania. Key swing state, Pennsylvania, is expected to report its remaining votes on Thursday. A win there would clinch the election for Biden. That's really the one headline that no one can get around. If Biden was to take Pennsylvania, it's all but game over. Trump has lost his two lawsuits that could have opened up Michigan and Wisconsin to additional electoral votes. But for the moment, those are off the table. A Biden win in Pennsylvania would cinch up this election. However, if that doesn't occur, it's a state we have to watch very closely as that gap continues to narrow. If that doesn't happen, it changes the ballgame entirely. And one state can very well become that linchpin that puts Biden absolutely into a tailspin. You've seen the numbers. Look at the bar, not the top number. It says 253 and 213. Very simple numbers to run. If you click on Pennsylvania and you move that over to the Biden column and move it blue, Biden achieves 273 electoral votes. That's the end of the game. However, if that does go to Donald Trump, and we're going to go ahead and move that to red, well, now Biden has an entirely different ballgame to look at, and one that can change on him very, very quickly with what we can call the quietest state so far, the one that decided to take some time off before counting those votes. And the timing is what we must all kind of call into question here. It's not what it seems. So back to Pennsylvania. That key state that could change everything immediately. Trump's Pennsylvania lead dwindles as legal fights heat up over Philadelphia poll watchers. I don't know if you heard about this. Trump was ahead of winning 50.22% of the votes counted so far compared to Biden's 48.63%. They won a critical legal battle, allowing poll watchers now to get within 6 foot instead of the 20 feet prior, giving them a better handle on watching what they feel is happening in the ballot counting. However, the minute they attempted to get that at 6 feet, here's what happened to them.
I mean, the order's pretty clear. I've been a lawyer for 30 years. What can you tell us what's unclear about it? You're a private lawyer and acting in the government capacity.
I'm a private lawyer who represents the city.
Great.
The city is evaluating it, and I can't tell you anything more than
They're
that.
evaluating a judge's order?
What the order means, and when they're ready to talk to you about it, they will. But I can assure you that they're not violating it under any...
The order is currently in effect.
They're not violating
You
the
guys
order
had
under any
8
interpretation.
attorneys. I think it was 8 attorneys entering your appearance on this. I don't understand why 8 attorneys need to evaluate this order. I did it all by myself.
Okay.
It says that no later than 10:30 today, you're to follow the election code, and my people, my clients, representatives, are to be within 6 feet of the process.
We have read the order, and we are complying with the order, and we will discuss it with you in a bit. Okay?
The compliance is 6 feet.
So obviously the order isn't very clear. A lawyer is arguing about a judge's ruling, the ruling that you see before you. You're a restricted republic. You know we always provide you evidence to allow those folks within 6 feet. But that's not occurring. Of course it's not. But everybody's worried about facts first. As CNN published here, facts first. The only problem I had with the facts first page is the only fact person they're checking is Trump. And Rudy Giuliani checking the unfounded claims that USPS lost 300,000 ballots. Fact check, CNN breaks down the 7 kinds of dishonesty to expect in late campaign Trump rally. Fact check, Trump makes series of egregious false claims in the election night address. Fact check, Eric Trump and Donald J. Trump spread false information in run-up to election. So I guess that's just a GOP check. But that puts Philadelphia aside for the moment, the one that could technically cinch it for Joe Biden by just running simple numbers. And we'll move over to Georgia, whose tally proceeds and now may take up until Friday. With Trump's lead, Georgia by less than 13,000 votes. The state has about 47,277 ballots left to count. I love how they get it that exact. Gabriel Sterling, the state's voting system implementation manager, stated. That's down from 61,000 at the beginning of the day. I mean, making amazing progress. There's not a whole lot to report on Georgia, except remembering that 47,000 vote number. Knowing that Trump lost one of his lawsuits there, didn't come through. Knowing, just remember that 47,000 number, because if you jump ahead in the article to Arizona and how many ballots they have left, they have 470,000, 47,000, 470,000. Sometimes I feel like somebody's playing a very mean joke at us with this election. It's almost impossible to look by some of the anomalies in numbers. Those votes, like early ballots sent to the county on Monday and Tuesday, narrowed Biden's lead over Trump in Arizona to 68,000 votes, when his lead had been more than 90,000 votes earlier Wednesday. Paul Benson, Republican pollster with the consulting firm High Ground, said Trump needs to win 57.6 of the 470,000 votes that Arizona Republic estimates remain to be counted. That's almost exactly what he got in the first batch. So he can do it. Well, it appears that Arizona, and as you know, I've not counted Arizona in anybody's column. I've left it off of there for very good reason. So much so that now CNN and MSNBC even admit that Trump appears to be on track to win in Arizona. Well, that changes that ball game again slightly, doesn't it? These key battleground states, not quite what the mainstream media wanted you to know, challenging Fox News at every turn, but have they responded to me? Of course they haven't. Arizona voters sue Maricopa County over Sharpiegate and using Sharpies at the poll site. I don't know if you've all heard about this. I know Lisa's reported on it. Well, that's taken further developments. The Secretary of State says ballots will count no matter what kind of pen was used. The problem is, though, however, when you are forced to use a pen, as many reports now coming out are stating, so much so that Representative Kelly Townsend has now gotten aboard. And it said it's not about whether a Sharpie is bad, it's that you can't be forced to use one. It just has to be blue or black ink, and she's correct. People were made to use one. Many are reporting that their ballots were canceled after they went ahead and checked online to see if they were accepted. Reportedly, they were not. Kelly Townsend is challenging why were they forced to use a marker and then have their ballots not work correctly, even though if you read many instructions, they often state to use a black ballpoint pen. So why would Sharpies be involved? That is the question brewing in Arizona. Remembering now, again, Trump losing that battle in Georgia and Michigan. Now we start to come back to that little old state of Nevada, whose deadline for accepting ballots now is November 10th, as long as they're postmarked, of course, November 3rd. Nearly 200,000 ballots remain to be counted, officials state. I want you to remember that number because we've watched those numbers of ballots remaining change in certain states, so it's important to watch the details. Nevada, along with Pennsylvania and North Carolina, allowed ballots to be tallied after Election Day. And there you go. A Nevada official announced Thursday that the state will accept mail-in ballots postmarked by November 3rd until Tuesday, November 10th, as the rest of the nation eagerly awaits a vote count from the state that could decide the fate of the presidency. Understanding this is the first time Nevada's used mail-in ballots. A lot of people forget about that. So it's a new process to them, one that they seem to have been ill-prepared for. I'm going to play you some clips at the back end of this broadcast that will define this. Has been talked about for a very, very long time. Almost an overview of what was to come. At a news conference in Las Vegas on Thursday, former Nevada Attorney General Adam Laxalt, and other Trump campaign surrogates, including former administration officials. Richard Grenell, I'm going to play a clip of him also in a confrontation with MSNBC, at least one they want to claim is a confrontation, gave no evidence to support their allegations of irregularities and did not answer questions from reporters. We believe that there are dead voters that have been counted. We are also confident that these are thousands of people whose votes have been counted that have moved out of Clark County during the pandemic. Now, if you ask yourself the question, why so much focus on Las Vegas? The answer is going to start to become abundantly clear. Las Vegas area has 90% of Nevada's ballots. Approximately 190,150 ballots remain. Hold on now. Wait. Step back. I thought they said 200,000. Well, I guess they're just rounding. So, details, it's just an election. But every vote counts, but we can't get a number correct. So now it's down to 190,150 ballots remain to be counted in Nevada, with 90% in Clark County, the home of Las Vegas, Nevada Secretary of State Barbara said Thursday afternoon. The slow trickle of election results from the Silver State, where Biden currently leads Trump by fewer than 12,000 votes, have become a focal point in the 2020 race. Well, it's an interesting focal point, because when you run the numbers correctly, you'll find out that everything hinges on Nevada. The candidates have to place their bets, no pun intended, on what the results in Nevada will be. If you take into COVID-19 and the effect it's had on that economy, I think everybody should be a little bit more concerned than they are about how Nevada is going to vote. Trump campaign loses legal fight in Georgia and Michigan, vows Nevada lawsuit. Well, see, if you read the headlines the correct way, you'll notice where everybody is putting their focus. The very state that may make Biden go ballistic. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to show you clips to prove out what's happening, to show you what happened when Richard Grenell went into the state. When you send Richard Grenell into the state of Nevada, you have to understand that there's a very good reason for that. He's one of the most well-equipped individuals to tackle potential fraud over anybody else. Trump has used Richard Grenell many times to get information out to the public successfully. Well, lo and behold, Richard Grenell shows up in Las Vegas. So now I'm going to stop here. I've taken enough of your time. Remember to key in on Nevada. I'm about to run the numbers, show you the videos. Make sure you understand why this is such a focus. Make sure you see other elements from other states that have gone wrong so you can quantify why so many people are raising concern over this election. But for right now, I'm going to depart. I try to respect your time here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I certainly hope you will. If you haven't gone to Restrict the Republic, you're going to see me over there in about an hour when I publish the entire full length of this video. Enjoy it. 14 days on Lisa and I right now. Absolutely for free. Cancel before the trial period ends. No harm, no foul. But once you get there, I promise you, you're never going to go anywhere else for true, unfiltered, and uncensored news. So until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justus Knight, signing out.